Hello again everybody, and welcome to section 2 of your health and safety in construction course on CSCS. This section is about accident prevention and reporting. Don't forget, make sure you make your notes as we go in through. So I will say, pause your video and write this down on every single section. And when you come in for your exams and your CSCS test, we will check those notes to ensure that you haven't missed out any section at all. Okay. So let's just flick on to accident prevention and reporting. Yeah, all we really hear about on site is the accident book and what we should do and where is the accident book. But there's much more to accident prevention and reporting. So let's have a look. I'll ask you a couple of questions. First of all, why must we report an accident? Now, many of you will say to stop it from happening again. But that's the second reason. The first reason is it's the law. So just jot that down. So while I'm speaking, it's the law to report an accident. If something has happened, it has to be reported either in the accident book and details taken down, or by the manager to a higher authority. So make sure you write down that accident reporting is the law. When should we report an accident? Immediately? You'll be 100% correct. It has to be reported as soon as it has happened or within a reasonable time afterwards. Okay, let's move on. Why report a near miss? Now, first of all, what is a near miss? A near miss is an incident where something happened, but it didn't cause harm. Okay? And why we should report a near miss is because we don't want it turning into an accident next time it happens. So if we can do something about it, fantastic. Remember what I taught you in the introduction video about being on the M4 or a motorway and not getting hurt, okay? So reporting a near miss is a fantastic thing to do. Even safer than reporting a near miss is reporting a dangerous working environment. So why should we report unsafe working conditions? It's because most companies will say, can you report something dangerous to us to prevent near misses and prevent accidents? So it's the safe issue right from the start. Many companies are now actually rewarding people with like close call cards or putting reports in, doing prize draws at the end of each month for people who are reporting things. So they're rewarding their workers with vouchers or with tools or with cash even. So some large construction companies do this on a regular basis. Of course, the knock-on effect of that is if we report things that are dangerous, we don't have accidents, it doesn't cost us money, there's no claims, the insurance costs don't go up, we haven't got people off work sick, which means the site don't fall behind, or we've got to hire extra labour, so everything comes down to the site can carry on moving quite quickly. Now, I will reiterate these and hopefully you just wrote it down. Reporting an accident is the law, but reporting a near miss or an unsafe working environment isn't the law, it's what we call best practice. So these are the best things to do, but if it gets that far, it has to be reported. So hopefully you've written that down. Okay, why is it important to keep work areas clean and tidy? Okay, I'm going to ask you to write down 3 things in a moment, but reporting work areas to keep them clean and tidy is to prevent slips, trips and falls. Obviously, you probably had that in your head as we were going along. And the 3 things I'm going to ask you to write down in a second is when you answer this next question is which type of accident kills the most construction workers? Okay, here we go. We're going to write down 3 things. The number 1 cause of death, so if you can just jot this down, the number 1 cause of death is people falling from height. So just pause your video there. People falling from height. Number 1 cause of death. The number 1 cause of major accidents and injuries is slips and trips. So again, if you want to pause the video there so you don't miss anything or rewind it, that's fine. But the number 1 cause of major accidents and injuries is slips and trips. So as you see, slips, trips and falls have been separated up into 2 sections. Falls from height is the number 1 killer. Slips and trips is the number 1 cause of major accidents and injuries. And the number 1 cause of long-term health problems. Anybody got any ideas? is breathing in harmful chemicals. So whether it's asbestos, dust, fumes, gases and so on, breathing in things. Now on the CSCS test there are other options that basically are killers and long-term illnesses. Obviously the long-term illnesses involves asbestos. The other one for being major injuries is being hit by machines, by diggers, the buckets or machines. Large machines moving around on a construction site is quite a large cause of major accidents and injuries on site. So let's move on. Why is it important to attend a site induction? Super important. Every single site that you go on, it is the law that you have a site induction. Every single workplace that you work in, it's the law you have a site induction. So whether you work in an office environment, in a school, in a garage, in a fish and chip shop, something like that, and construction sites of course, you must have an induction. It's the law, and you must sign in that induction to say that you understand the site rules and what to do if there's a problem. So it's super important, and it is the law that you are required to have a site induction. And the last thing I'm going to ask you is, who must report an accident? Now we are going to elaborate on this a little bit. So first of all, if you have an accident, and it's a minor accident, you report it. Let's say that again. You have an accident and it's minor and you report it. So you go and report to the first aider to get treatment, and if you're able to do so, you write it in the accident book. If you can't write in the accident book, for example, because you've hurt your right arm, then somebody who is a witness to the accident can write in there for you. If there is nobody to write in that accident book, you are not supposed to fill it in or let it be filled in by somebody else on site who hasn't seen anything. The first aider can make a report about what treatment was given, but they can't make a report on what or how the injuries were sustained because they didn't see it. So site managers, again, unless they were a witness, they should not fill in that accident book until you've done so. If it means you're off work for a long time, I have said we need to report as quick as possible, but if you are unable to fill that accident book in for, say, 2 weeks, then a form would be sent to your house for a member of your family to fill in that accident book and send it back, and then it is kept inside the accident book forever. Now, if an accident is serious, you might want to jot down now, serious accidents. You report to the site manager. If the accident is serious, the site manager has to report to the HSE, the Health and Safety Executive. Now, on the CSCS test, it does stipulate who reports to the HSE, and it's somebody who is trained and competent to do so, fills out a RIDDOR report. RIDDOR is the reporting of injuries and dangerous diseases, occurrences, regulations. You haven't got to write all that down, but it means that somebody who is competent to do so fills out the RIDDOR report, and it's mostly done online these days. So, how do we know an accident is serious? Well, there's a nice easy gauge. If you are off work for more than 7 days, 7 consecutive days, the accident is now classed as serious. The accident or injury or illness is classed as serious. And therefore, the site manager or somebody competent is supposed to report it to the HSE. Is everybody clear? Fantastic. Let's move on a little bit then. So, the accident book itself should be kept 3 years by law. How many of you walked down the street and somebody's approached you and said, "Excuse me, sir, or madam, have you had an accident in the last 3 years?" There it is. It's because the companies can go back and find out the details of that accident if the accident book was filled in correctly. If it wasn't, or the accident book has now disappeared, then technically somebody's done something wrong. Okay. The accident, this is just a recap. The accident book should be filled in by the person who had the accident or witness. No one else. Okay. There are 2 things it asks on the CSCS test that do not need to be written in the accident book. Okay? Sometimes on the CSCS test it asks what should be written in the accident book. So I'll tell you what should. The details of the accident, your name, your address. Very, very important. Any witnesses? Very, very important. But the things that do not need to be written in the accident book, according to the CSCS, is your national insurance number, because it has absolutely no relevance to the accident at all, and your phone number. Now you might be thinking, why don't I write my phone number in there? It's because if the HSE need to speak to you with regards to it, they will write to you. Pretty much like HMRC and other government bodies. Very rarely will they ring. It will usually be some scam if somebody rings for this kind of thing. Because again, under data protection and the book being kept for 3 years, all the details in our book are private. So your phone number does not need to be in there, and of course your employer should have your phone number on the records of your employment anyway. There we go. Okay, so that's section 2, accident reporting, health and welfare. I'll see you all on section 3.
Again.
Yeah.